for some reasons.
Aviators, just aviators in general. They're good. I hate them because they don't protect the sides of the eyes. It bothers me, but yeah, you look good in them, you look good in them. So.
Hello Internet, I'm Dan.
And I'm Chaz, and this is Wine is Serious Business, episode 151.
Yes.
And we're drinking some Italian, Sicilian wine.
Yep,
right?
Italian wines from Sicily.
Okay, yes. So
yeah.
They're Italian Sicilian.
Yep. Sicily's part of Italy. We know a little bit about Italian wine, not much. Like of the big famous wine producing regions in the world, I think Italy is the one that I'm least knowledgeable about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of comfortable with France, Germany, the United States, but Italy's same thing. Been producing wine forever. It's producing large amounts of fantastic wine, and I know almost nothing about it.
Only just the B's, right? The Brunello, Barbaresco, Barolo. Had a fair amount of those, but stepping outside of that one sector of Italian wines, not much.
And this being one of the few exceptions. So Arianna Occhipinti, making wine out of Sicily. We've had great experiences with her stuff from the past.
Yeah.
Tip of the hat to David Spear from Red Slate / Ambonnet for introducing us to her wines years ago. But
still loving them.
Man, it's fantastic stuff. And I didn't even know this, so she's got a more value line or budget line called Tami, which I hadn't experienced before. This new stuff, I got some emails that this just came onto the market. I was like, let's try them out. Yeah. Let's try them out on the show. So we're going to do a little bit of Italian wine today. Talk about Sicily, usually lighter, high acid reds, which is right up our alley. First one is from 2011. We've got the Frappato. She's got a higher end.
Wasn't that the SP68?
No, the SP68 is kind of a blend, I think, but she's got a higher end Frappato.
Okay.
That's a pure bottling, kind of in a bottle shape like this. But this is
big pour.
Cheaper. Why not? We're hanging out.
Chad's getting drunk tonight.
It's Friday night show. We're having a good time. 2011 Frappato from Occhipinti. Fun on the nose, fruity, super ripe strawberries and a little bit of rhubarb, I think.
There's something meaty coming out of it, though. It's almost like a salami or something like that on the nose, along with those fruit flavors.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's like a salty meat.
Nice.
It's really nice, but yeah, the cherries are coming out of that really nicely too. It smells nice.
Oh, the salami's totally there. Kind of the Olympic provision salami.
It's got a little bit of it's very, very salty, hard salty meat. That's what she said. Sorry.
Well, I'm not bleeping that. That's how that's going. Nice on the palate, fruity. Frappato, while I know very little about it, is a grape that the more I taste of it, the more I like. Good fruit flavors, good acidity all the way across the palate.
A lot of acidity. Pretty tannic too. In the way it's really,
you know what? I'll say, there is some of that going on.
There's a good amount of grip. I like to use that word when I describe tannins. You swallow it and it just sort of kind of crunches the tongue a little bit.
Not too much though. I don't think it's too much. That salami he was talking about on the nose really comes through on the palate, I think. Also some really great berry notes, really dark raspberries, really ripe raspberries, really kind of coating the backside of the palate.
And fresh and delicious, just very, very straight. There's a focus on that fruit flavor that's really, really nice. It's almost, I have a hard time describing it here. It's some wines, the fruit flavors it provides sort of disappear at certain points to let the mineral come through, or other aspects of the wine. It's there's a focus on this, the raspberry cherry thing going on the palate. The salami sort of plays in there too, but man, it's just it's juicy and delicious. It's really good.
A little bit of apple flavors on there, and definitely it's kind of straightforward, kind of direct, right? There's not a whole lot of crazy intricacy and complexity going on. But it's a good intensity of flavors. I like the structural elements. I think that's kind of where I'm talking about Frappato. Even in a more simple expression of it, I kind of like what it brings to the table. 86 points for me. So, and that's kind of because it's not bringing a whole lot of that excitement, but totally drinkable. Price point, I think mid-teens. So it totally delivers there. we just had a really nice dinner last night where we drank some great wines, and I was thinking like, man, eating with some of those wines was even kind of distracting to it. In contrast, this wine I think would go fantastically with food. So it's got some fruit, it's got some punch to hold its own, and it's delicious, but not distracting. And I also don't feel like even with a little spice to food, I don't think that would take away from the wine. I think you could enjoy them both thoroughly.
I completely agree with that. And besides that, like there's good intensity to the fruit and to the structural elements here, but like the alcohol levels are pretty dialed down. Like this is almost like sort of a with the alcohol being subsided, it's like a little bit juicy and nice and delicious on the palate. It's really well made. I like it a lot. I'm gonna go 88 points on it. It's really good.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the way it's put together, like the acidity, and it's good wine. And
the alcohol's a bit of a mystery. We're kind of guessing there on the label. It says from 11 to 14%, and
I would say it's on the lower end of that.
That'd be my guess. Yeah. That'd be my guess. Next up, the 2011 Tami label Nero D'Avola. So
not something I've had a lot of.
A fairly famous grape from Sicily. I know they make a lot of it there. Again, I also don't know a lot about it. I've had some that I like. I've heard stories that there are a lot of bad ones out there, but I want to give credit to the fine retailers that I regularly do business with. I haven't really been exposed to a lot of terrible Nero D'Avolas, so you know I consider it a pretty respectable grape. So
I can say I haven't had a lot of Nero D'Avola as it is.
Yeah. Oh no! Here on the other label, so the Frappato is 12.5% alcohol. So right, it was on the lower side of that. Yeah. This one's at 13, so we got a little extra information.
All right. Wow, quite a bit different here.
Definitely much darker nose, more in the like blackberry plum world of fruit.
Well, we're dipping into like almost like an herbal thing going on here. Like sort of talking about that rhubarb rosemary jam. It's almost like a little bit of rhubarb and a little bit of like something herbal. And
I think there's a little bit of chocolate cake in here. Do you see that? Maybe not. He's around cakes a lot more often than I am. His girlfriend bakes.
There's one right there. Yeah. Actually, there's a chocolate cake. I could see there's a bit of dark chocolate to this, but like I wouldn't pick it out as cake.
All right. All right. Yep. But good fruits, inviting again. Kind of a suggestion of acidity, you know, not too much alcohol or anything crazy going on, but inviting. Definitely on the firmer side. This is definitely like a darker grape than the Frappato, which those of you who know what we're talking about are like, obviously, of course. But it's a little, still kind of an educational moment for us. I'm going to stick with blackberries for sure. I'm getting plenty of blackberry flavor across this. A little bit of chocolate.
Dark and intense.
I'm going to stick with the chocolate too.
There is some chocolate, like some chocolate to it. Yes, I would agree with that. Man, another one where like the fruit is definitely in the forefront here. And it's like very focused on its fruitiness.
Yep.
Like very little else going on, right? Like very much to the point. Like here is the delicious fruit that you're looking for, and there it is. Like,
plenty of acidity, just a little bit of tannins. I'm getting kind of like some prunes even, right? Like some like dried plums lingering on the palate, on the finish. And I like that. There's a little bit of length to the flavor here that keeps the mind engaged a little bit.
That's another really good one. I like the way this drinks. It's just very easy to drink. Normally I'm a little bit like sensitive to like super high acid wines, and well, I would consider these a fairly high acid wines. Maybe this one less than the Frappato. Man, just the way it's put together is just very, very nice here.
Definitely
awesome for the price point. Yeah, juicy is the word I want to use, but not like in the overdone style, like like you know, people talk about big, like voluptuous, juicy wines. Like no, I'm talking like juicy in like the sense of its freshness and its focus on the fruit. It's good. It's really good. I like that style.
87 plus for me, a great buy. Also at sub 20, very versatile. Great one to drink with food or in a casual social situation. And also to the point, like if buying more expensive wine from Italy is kind of out of your budget, like to get something under $20, of this quality. I think this is a great introduction to this style of wine too. I want to say good things about her farming practices, and I feel like an idiot. I'm going to add a comment to this later. I have to look it up. I want to say Occhipinti's kind of known. Actually, you want to take a break? Let's check this right now.
If you want to. Yeah, it's up to you, man.
We'll be right back. Is your internet open?
Yeah, the internet's open. You want to use my iPad, you can use that.
Let's race. I'll use this. You look at that.
Oh, I got to block all the way over there.
Life is hard. Alright, we're back. I'm glad we make these cuts. In theory,
Got some new knowledge.
yeah, we would look this stuff up in advance, but it's hard to know until you're in the middle of the show and we're like, oh man,
it works.
I really want to share this information, I don't have it. So here's what I found out, that Arianna Occhipinti does farm organically, but that the Tami wines are a project between her and some other friends where they work together to provide these very reasonably priced wines, you know, to the markets that they serve. So it's kind of a project between a few, you know, growers and winemakers in Sicily. So we learned something.
They turned out very good. I don't think I scored this one. I was going to go 87 points on this as well. I like it a little less than the Frappato. I think the Frappato is a little more up my alley for as far as the lighter, redder flavors and the way it drinks. This is a little darker, a little firmer, and is again very delicious. I think focused on the fruit, which I like quite a bit. But just a personal experience, I like the Frappato just a little more. So 87 points on this one. Again, a very nice one.
Yeah.
Really good at the price point. And I think Dan touched on a point. It's like if you want something that's super pleasurable without having to pay it too much mind, these two wines are like hitting that perfectly. Like you could be at a dinner, eating other food, in a conversation with other people, and you will totally get the pleasure these wines are providing. It's
and if you're looking at something at $7 or $8, like I'd really like to think that both of these are worth doubling down. Like get one of these instead of 2 bottles of other stuff at half the price, because it's interesting and it's kind of like an entryway.
Well, what's the price point? Is it $15?
Mid-teens, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
So rock solid. So fun. Now on to the SP68. From 2011, let's verify this. Yes, 2011. This is a wine that, kind of the one that really turned me onto her, both of us onto her production.
Totally.
A few years ago, I don't remember exactly what vintage it was, but we've really enjoyed it in the past. I was really excited when I saw that this was coming into town to see what it tastes like now.
So in the past with these wines, like the thing I like about them so much is that while they I think there is some complexity to them, there's just this like, they're so focused on what they are. Like these wines are just like a laser beam of fruit that the fruit that's providing, if that makes sense. It's like hard to express, but it's a style unlike I've found in other wines. That when I see the SP68, I get to have it. You know exactly what you're getting, and it's awesome. So
it's true to its character, right?
Yeah, it's true to its character, yeah. And I really like that when people are aiming at a style or aiming at a point where they want to be that's very, very different. It's very definitive from what some other wines are, and this one is one of those ones where it's like that. It's the SP68 El Frappato. It's good stuff. So,
yeah. Definitely more complexity, even right away on the nose. There's like this kind of like roast beef or kind of like earthy funk going on outside of the fruit. I'm having a little hard time nailing it down, but there's definitely like this like savory element kind of above and kind of wrapping around the fruit that makes this really interesting.
But then leaning back also to like the strawberry and raspberry thing going on there with those lots of fruit nose, combined with those flavors you were talking about.
And a sense of purity, which seems kind of silly to say, right? We're getting into kind of like emotional responses here, but it brings it out.
You can tell we're a little biased, right?
Yeah.
But yes, it's.
I really like the nose. That's what it comes down to.
It smells wonderful. Yeah.
Definitely lighter on the palate. The acidity kind of sets in gently, and the fruit takes a little while. The fruit shows itself more on the mid palate.
Yeah, this isn't as immediately of a right in your face fruit as I'm used to.
But on that note, that means that there's a little bit of evolution there. I'd say it starts out
There is.
lightly with some acidity and a little bit of saline character, even kind of like sea spray or something like that. And then these darker fruits start settling in, kind of like raspberries to blackberries to cherries, and then the tannins are gripping up on kind of like the back of my palate, and kind of the roof of my mouth even a little bit. But that's like a couple seconds after the wine gets started.
But those fresh fruit flavors are there, which is what I really love about this wine, is its sense of freshness and its sense of like directly, like it's almost like you're eating the fruit, right? Like the blackberries and raspberries are right there, and like they're very expressive,
and the raspberries are so good. I mean, I think, at least in the Portland market here, there's a real diversity in the quality of raspberries, especially if you're getting stuff out of season. They can be kind of boring, or like the color and the shape is right, but there's no flavor. But you get them right in season. There's this great depth of flavor with like a little bit of acidic pop. And this wine is totally bringing it. This is like not just raspberries, but excellent raspberries.
A lot of them, yes. This is an obvious step above the first two wines that we're drinking. It's just really, really good.
Yeah, really enjoy the evolution on the palate. Again, and I don't find myself saying this a lot, but I hear this as a cliche for Italian wines, but I am thinking of food with this also. Mostly, I think, due to a little bit of the tannic structure at the back end, the fruit is fantastic. But I think the structure later kind of asks for a little bit of accompaniment. Like it wants someone to dance with, right? Like it needs doesn't need it. It wants a little food, to make things a little better. Not that I would have any trouble drinking the rest of this bottle without food.
Yeah, no, it's pretty easy, actually. This is delicious.
Yeah.
And, that's all I can just leave it at. That's I'm at a loss for words with this.
You like the structure?
I think more, let try to lead me into this. I think the things I like about this so much are its freshness. I already talked about that, but there's a textural element here that's really substantial. It's I don't know what it's from. Intensity with low alcohol, and just again providing like that juiciness we were talking about before with the other wines. It's easy to drink. It's absolutely delicious. I really am failing at words.
No, I don't know.
That's it.
You're on a roll there.
No.
I'm going to go 89 plus on this. It's right on the edge for me. I've been a little stingy lately. You can take that into consideration too. Yeah. Even stuff I've been writing online. I don't know what's happened, but I've definitely been on the stingy side. Whatever. I mean, that's you got to go with what you're feeling. So 89 plus, still rock solid. This was mid 20s, if I remember correctly.
Worth every penny.
Again, totally delivering at the price point. If you see that as a reasonable price, I wholeheartedly encourage you to try a bottle, just because she's doing wine that is interesting and exciting and kind of talked about quite a bit on the American market. And this is brought in by Louis Dresner Selection, so one of the bigger importers. I think PDX distribution with Michael Wheeler here in Portland. Hopefully we connect with you at some point. We're way overdue to do that, but I want to. But back to the wine. If you get a chance to try it out, I encourage you to do it.
You should. 90 points for me.
Nice.
This is
Chaz is not stingy.
No, well, we're 1 point off, right? Really, but like this is, it's in that level. It's in like the next level of it's almost extraordinary. Like I look forward to it every year, and I while this is different than what I'm used to, it's not the SP68 that I remember from the last vintage I tried, whether that was 09 or 2010, I don't remember. This is, again, another exceptional bottling of the Frappato that is just awesome. Like, you need to try it if you haven't had it, so.
Yeah, solid wine.
Awesome.
So, check this stuff out. All of it's good. All of it's priced really well. And I know it's pretty well distributed across the United States, at least in the big markets. You should be able to get some. So, check it out. Time for question of the day.
Put on the stunner shades.
Yeah.
What is your favorite pair of sunglasses?
So I don't really have some. I don't wear them that often, so that's why I've taken Chaz's Hello Kitty sunglasses. I thought
Those are Tami's, actually.
Maybe those of you, fantastic. Those of you online would appreciate that. pushed into it, I'd kind of like aviators, but I only buy cheap sunglasses because I lose them and destroy them. So aviators are even more flimsy than a lot of other styles. They last me a month, maybe. So
I don't know the Ray-Ban style that I wear most regularly, but there's a certain pair of Ray-Bans that I wear very regularly. Bruno's upstairs. Oh, they're over there. But aviators are my favorite style. They look good on almost everybody, and me included. I think you can rock it, but you find the right size aviators for your head, and it's almost like wearing a good tie or something. It's a very good accessory. Anyway,
fashion Chaz.
Yeah, fashion Chaz.
What's your favorite kind of shades? Thanks for watching.
See you guys next time.
See you for 152.